Hello there, this is Bailey Gaming coming at you with my video on my top 10 animes that I watched or enjoyed or had gelling with over this year. We've got some honorable mentions of seasons of continuing anime that are, that I really like, but they all started either 1 or 2 years ago and are continuing at the moment. So this year, I will apologise for any bad pronunciations. Mostly, I've got the English names of things, but if I do any bad Japanese pronunciations, I can only apologise for that. So, honourable mentions, we've got continuing Jobless Reincarnation Season 2, or Mushoku Tensei Season 2, however you prefer to call it, and Dangers in My Heart Season 2. Both of these would be on the top 10 list if they were new projects, but they both rocked for very different reasons, and both are really good shows that I would heartily recommend. And honourable mentions for new shows this year, we have Go Go Loser Ranger. This would probably be in the top 10 if I was very much familiar with the Kamen Rider Power Rangers Toketsu kind of universe that it's a love letter to and subversion of. Mayonaka Punch, which is a cancelled YouTuber, befriends a wacky lesbian vampire to help her get 1 million subs on a new channel, all in exchange for her blood. It's really well, surprisingly well animated, and it's such a wacky premise that I had a lot of fun watching. So we're going to go on to my top 10 now. Once again, these are in no particular order, and the quality is maybe not spoken to by where it is, but more of like what I thought about it. So anyway, at number 10 we have Chained Soldier, which is a silly, rip-roaringly entertained bit of eshy trash with oddly good fight sequences, memorable characters, and a fairly interesting premise. Like I would highly recommend potentially checking it out if you like the sound of that kind of thing. Number 9, we have Too Many Losing Heroines, which is a warm slice of life comedy about with one of the best girls of the year as the main character, backed up by some really charming side characters that make you want to root for them, and it has some almost cinematically good quality animation. Like again, really recommend checking it out. Number 8, Gushing Over Magical Girls. Now this is a huge disclaimer that this anime is not for everyone and it will challenge you. It's very much a sleazy, eshy parody bordering on hentai, but if you can get past the weird and smutty stuff, you will find a challenging and the right kind of ways look at a young woman discovering herself. Also, a great D and reconstruction of magical girl tropes written by somebody who clearly loves and knows the genre very well. I really got a lot out of that show because it was so challenging and so interesting to me in various ways. Obviously, not really the rude bits, but the bits beyond that were the bits that I really, really resonated with and enjoyed. Number 7, we got My Dear Friend Nokotan, the anime that had the most viral opening of the year and one of the most bizarre and zany things I've ever watched. A show that will keep you guessing and you're never going to be right about what happens next. And that is just the biggest charm and the best thing I could say about it. Go watch it if you haven't somehow seen it. Number 6, A Salad Bowl of Eccentrics. Rarity in its genre, it's a reverse isekai. I'm sorry if I pronounced that correctly, in which the magical princess and her hopeless sort of chief knight lady come to the real world, and it's a solid look at both the light and dark side of Japan, with the princess helping out, this detective that she befriends via magic and a funny sort of obsession with Detective Conan, the anime and slash manga, and her chief knight kind of gets into trouble in the world of hostess bars. She becomes homeless. Doohickey inspiring cults, also the world of idols and music. It's a fun show that I super enjoyed, and I would certainly say you should check that one out. It was quite underrated, my feelings are. Number 5, The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. Yes, it's an isekai power fantasy, but it does feel like the main guy actually earns his power the hard way, and he grows and he learns along the way. It's just the best of the many, many, many fight monsters and save the world kind of show that were shown this year. But it also kind of shows interesting things like the people at the rear of the battle can be as important as the people leading the charge. The main character and the mentor used the harsh training that they went through to be able to heal and assist wounded soldiers. It was very good for what it was. Now, and then we come to the big sort of top four now. Number four, the yokai next to me. Now, narrowly missing out on the top three. This is an absolutely charming slice of life alternate universe show in which various mythical creatures we've all grown up with around the world are very much real and living amongst humans. Some in their own towns, some integrating into human society, and how different a universe like that could be to our own. Obviously, it does have its own shares of issues in this alternate universe, and throughout the show, you will see how the characters deal with them, and it's very, very charming, very heartwarming, and in places very, very emotional. This show was very slept on, and I think it deserves, at least the 3 episode test of anyone's time. I would very much go out of your way to at least check out 3 episodes of this show. And we'll go into our top three now. These are the ones I wrote the most about, so I'll try to keep it at least cromulent. Okay, so number three, 2.5D Seduction slash 2.5D Rarissa. Now, it kind of takes a little bit of explaining for this one, but I really resonated a lot with this context and the world of the show. Is it better than some of the shows under this? No, debatable, maybe, who knows. But my list kind of takes into account things I gelled with the most, as well as how much I enjoyed the show. And what you kind of think starts off as this generic ecchi horror manga anime, slowly reveals itself to be a heartwarming tale helping somebody with their dream and realizing their dream and achieving it, and helping a guy with repressed trauma over things that have happened with 3D women, as well as a well researched and implemented view of the world of cosplay and cosplayers. Although the show is set in Japan, my personal knowledge is limited to what happens in the UK. I still understood a lot of what the show was saying and the problems and the solutions to those problems therein. Each of the main cast of girls has real personality, although they do fall into the tropes of you've got your ditz, you've got your childhood friend, you've got your Gairu, you've got the sort of tsundere childhood friend with a massive crush on the main character, and you've got the super shy girl. They all have enough charm and moments in the show to shine and beat their stereotype into the dust and make me love them all the more. But mostly I love non-OP. Okay, we go to our number two here, which is Delicious in Dungeon. Now, what can I really say about this one that hasn't been said by people a lot more qualified and in the know than me? Studio Trigger did Studio Trigger things, and this amazing, awesome, funny, charming, and delightful show came, saw, and blew most of other anime completely away with its lore, world building, cast of lovable, amazing characters. Each one could easily be somebody's favourite, and I wouldn't fault you for having them favourites. Especially you've got the main cast of Laios, the absent-minded, kind of borderline autistic big brother character with an obsession to try and eat everything and anything they fight and deal with in the dungeon. Martial, the elven mage tsundere, who absolutely will not eat anything disgusting, but goddamn, that fried mimic smells good. I'll go on, one bite won't hurt. 4 plates later, she's really happy. You got Chill Chuck, the halfling straight man, who's secretly the oldest member of the party, but he's also kind of the most useful, as he helps them with like traps and locked doors and things that a rogue would do in your classic D&D party. He's very entertaining. And then of course you've got, lastly but by no least, my favourite, the best boy Senshi the dwarf, who's good nature, affable good nature, would for even the most cynical heart, and the main three meet him, and it kind of really changes their life for the better. He shows them every part of a monster could be useful, not even the parts you just sell. With his amazing cooking and cutlery skills, he could turn the most disgusting slime into a mouth-watering dish that you wish you could be sitting down and eating with all these people you've met. And as the little meals done trumpet plays in the background, which is one of the little sound effects they use in the show. Every time they cook a meal, it plays a little sound effect, and you kind of imagine them all hearing this sound effect when he does it. If you haven't seen it, go out your way to see it. It would be the anime of the year if it wasn't for our winner coming out and crushing. And obviously, the number one anime of the year is unsurprisingly Don Da Don. I mean, it had to be, right? Again, there are people far more qualified than me who have gushed about this available. I will tell you why myself I fell in love with its I personally fell in love, sorry, with its crazy world and charming romance storytelling. It could be recency bias that this is the winner, but goddamn, I don't think anything has ever come out and hit me harder and as fast as this show does. From its already, you know, top tier, amazing, almost iconic opening theme and credits to the silly, wacky end credit scroll. Each episode flies by, and you just kind of. It was such an agonizing wait week to week to see where it was going. And nothing would prepare anime only people for where the 12 episode run ends, leaving you with your jaw on the floor questioning how anyone has the balls to do that in the year 2024. A great cast with top tier animation that wouldn't look out of place in a movie, a bumping, thumping, bumping, wild soundtrack that blends many genres, including uses of classical pieces, and mainly my favourite use of the classical piece, William Tell Overture, that I've seen for quite a while. This tale of a boy who's obsessed with aliens meets girl whose family are spirit mediums. They both doubt each other's beliefs, and through the shenanigans they go through, realise that both things are very much real and very much a threat to them. They rapidly become friends because you can't go through what happens to them without being, coming out the other side, becoming friends. And the friendship is wholesome and, delightfully awkward as all teenage sort of romancy friendships are. And it blossoms more and more inevitably into what I imagine will be the inevitable romance between the main character and the main girl. And it's a genuine certified masterpiece in my opinion. And it feels rare that something will come along that's this solid and this good, and it sold me to read the manga, which not many anime do, and this one certainly did. I imagine it will sell much merchandise, and I genuinely believe, with my limited amount of knowledge, that this will probably go down into the annals of greats of the genre. And it reminds me why every year I always come back to anime. It was that entertaining. And that's it. Thanks for reading this, or thanks for listening. Whichever was applicable to you. Take care now, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays.